One. What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here with College Admission Secrets. Welcome back to the training here in our Ivy League Admission Secrets group. Today, this training, we're going to talk about early action versus early decision versus restrictive early action. So lots of fancy words. Basically, it's the deadlines that you need to hit if you are essentially applying early to colleges. So if you are a senior, this training is perfect for you. If you're not a senior, freshman, sophomore, junior, you can go ahead and just prepare yourself for this for the next coming years there. Okay, let me go ahead and get us started here. So let's go ahead and get started with the breakdown, right? So when it comes to college applications in general, there's kind of 4 ways to apply. Actually, there's technically 5 ways to apply. We'll talk about it later, right? 5 ways. One is through early action. One is through early decision. One is called restrictive early action. There's a 5th one called like the micro one. It's called single choice early action. And then there's regular decision, right? So each one does have its own batch of options to choose from. Each one has pros, cons, different various things. And in this training, we're going to kind of break everything down so you guys can know what to expect there, right? So let's kind of break it down. Let's explain what each of these options mean. So first one is early action. So if you're applying to any early action schools, right, it basically lets you apply to the schools early, right? It's not binding. What that means is that if you get in and you don't want to go, you don't have to go. But if you, that's pretty much it, right? So the pluses of this option, if you you find out earlier, so by December, you usually know, and you're like, I'm done, and you can rest easy, enjoy the rest of your senior year. And if you don't get in, more apps that we go afterwards, right? The only con of this is that you have to get ready early. So a lot of the application deadlines are before November. So again, we do recommend if you are doing early action, you have your apps ready to go before this date here. Okay. Most of the deadlines, again, for the EA apps are due by November 1st, November 15th. Again, for us, if you want to copy kind of our schedule for our own coaching families, we have them internally be done by October 1st. That gives you like a few weeks to kind of apply and not rush and play with the system. Because then every school is a little different. Keep in mind, these are general, making generalized statements. Look at each of your schools you're going to use early action for to find the exact dates. To play it safe, use the most earliest date for all your apps and submit them all, and you don't have to worry about it. People like to set individual dates and wait for each one. Don't do that. You're stressing yourself out more for no reason. Okay. That's early action. The second batch of apps is called early decision. So the difference here, early decision is binding, meaning if you get into the school legally, you have to commit to that school. That's the big difference here. Okay. One is show schools, and the plus of it is that schools know that if you ED them, you are saying you are the one I want to go to. If you say yes, I'm going to turn everyone down and only go to you. That's essentially what early decision is, right? So it helps them out a little bit more. Con, you can only ED to one school, right? So if you so you only have one option, one school option to go to. So again, this is probably that dream school of you, like, hey, this is the one school I want to go over everything else, and that's the school is EDable. That's the school you probably want to ED to. If you get accepted, you can't compare financial aid because that's pretty much the only option you commit, and you told them, hey, if I get in, I'm going to you no matter what. So keeping that in mind, you won't get the offers on all the other schools to kind of compare. So you can't really negotiate, right, against them either. That's the other perk of the other schools. You can negotiate financial aid offers against schools to kind of give you more money there. Okay. Same thing. Deadlines are typically also by November 1st, and you find out by December of whichever schools you ED to. Okay. The next option, again, like I mentioned earlier, there's restrictive early action, also single choice early action as well too. So REA is similar to early action, but they have more rules. So each of the schools you have, I know one of the popular ones is Stanford has this option. those are considering that school, right? Basically, they'll tell you, right? You can apply to other private schools if you do restrictive early action. So it's almost very similar to ED, but it's not binding. So you're treating it as an ED, right? Like I'm committing to you, right? I didn't apply to anyone else. I committed to you at the same time, right? At the same time, if you get in, you don't want to go, you don't have to go. It's again not binding there. Okay. But you can only apply to one and you can't EAED. So again, we'll talk about in a bit like what schools is good for what people, and we'll talk about that in a little bit later on. Right. Same thing, early decision by November 1st, you'll find out by December. And last one is regular. Most people, majority will be applying regular. This means it's not early. You have a few months. By the way, if you are watching this live, it is end of August. Then you have until December. We have December, January to submit. You have multiple months to apply here, right? So again, the pros, you have more time to apply. You can apply as many schools as you want to with this option. But the con is because more people are applying, it is more competitive. That's just pure math. That's how it is, right? So that's to be the big thing here. These decisions are due, the apps are due by January 1st. Again, internally for our coaching families, we have it by December 1st. So we are done. Again, we can enjoy our winter break, right? Is there, and you will find out by March, latest April 1st, right? That's the date. By April 1st, you'll find out all your school decisions from all the various colleges here. Okay. Next one, let's compare them now. Let's figure out which one is good or bad for each of us, right? So first one, in terms of commitment, EA, no commitment. You can pick as many EAs as you want. You get in, you can wait and decide later on which ones you want to do. Early decision, right? High commitment, meaning if you get in, you have to attend that school. REA, there's no commitment, but you have to apply to, you only have one school. And regular, there's no commitment. You can apply to as many schools as you want here. When it comes to impact on admission specifically, right? If you do EA, it does increase your chances because schools do value the early. A lot of the more prestigious schools, the Ivies, they do value the early a lot more. So we tell a lot of families to do early if you can, right? And early decision, again, is the maximum because again, it's like if you think of the Vegas example, you're going all in, right? It's one of those like you're going all in. Actually, you leave like one chip just in case, right? But you give all in there because they know that if you get in, you're coming to our school no matter what. There's also restrictive early action. Again, it increases more than EA, but less than ED itself. They know schools will know they're your top choice, but you have an option not to attend. That's why. That's the difference here. And again, regular, most competitive as most students are applying. You get no extra boosts in the chances side itself here. Okay. Next one, deadlines, right? Very similar. You can see all of them are pretty much November 1st for the earlies. And then if you're doing regular, you find out by January 1st, 15th. You'll find out the earlies by December, the regulars by March or April. Now, which one's a good fit for you, right? So first one, early action for those who want early results, but don't want to commit, right? So again, there's no loss here. If you can get your apps in by November 1st or our students, October 1st, get everything done, your essays, your supplements, your common apps done before the deadline, go for it. It's not going to hurt you. You can just get in and be done with it as well too, right? There's early decision. If there's one school that you're like, yes, I want to go to that one school, and that one school is ED-able, because keep in mind, not every school is ED-able. There are certain schools like, yes, they have an ED option, and you've had their logo up on your wall since you were a little nugget, right? Go for that too. Restrictive or like if you have a strong preference for a school, but you want to keep your options open, right? Again, I know popular schools that do this is Stanford is one of the schools that does this. And then there's regular for everyone else. So if you need more time, basically for us, if you can't do early action, go for regular because that's the only other option you have that's not early there. Okay. In terms of figuring out something to think about as well too. If you know your top choice, again, some students, when we ask them, hey, what schools do you want to go to? And some kids like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, probably not ED for you, probably not REA for you. but let's just do early action for you, right? But for those who do know, meaning, hey, this is school I'm gonna go, ED is probably the best fit for you. But keep in mind, it's also binding. REA is the other option like that, right? Also, if you have, and one of the big indicators also is test scores nowadays. A lot of schools went back to test required, right? If you're going to do early action, early decision, you should already have your scores so they can consider it. There's a cutoff. They'll let you know when the cutoff is, that they'll still receive the scores that, or whatever it is as well too. They'll let you know. Each school might be a little different. Consider that if you have, let's say you're a senior and you're planning to take your SAT in November, that's fine for the regular decision, but that will, and then if you're applying to a test required school, that will disqualify you from the early action as well too. Okay, so keeping that in mind here. And also with the regular decision, they will consider your fall semester grades as part of the process itself too. Okay. Financial aid, right? Money is a big deal, right? So if you guys need to consider financial aid, again, financial aid, it is going to be limiting with the early decision specifically. So under early decision, you're locked into that one school. So then whatever school you end up going to, you're committed to go to that one school itself, right? That's gonna be the big thing there. Versus the other options allows you time to compare and see the different options that you have here, right? Speaking of financial aid, a little segue as well. My other co-host of these calls, Coach David, he actually runs a financial aid service where he helps a lot of families with financial aid itself. So if you guys are curious on that, I can go ahead and try to get you guys his link. I'll post it in the chat. And then for those of you that send me a message, email me, let me know. I can grab you his contact information. He basically helps families get money who typically doesn't qualify for federal aid, because again, for a lot of us live in the more affluent states, California, Northeast, where our income's been a little too much for federal aid, but not enough for like traditional aid for college admissions. So I want to drop it in the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and book a chat with him, it's a free 50-minute chat. He'll kind of look over your finances. If you have like your tax forms, your numbers, so he can kind of give you an estimate of like, here's how much you can expect to be paying for college, or like here's some options you can think about to offset that as well too. So definitely chat with him. It's a free 15-minute chat. If he can help you out, you can ask him at the end. But if not, the goal of that call is to see kind of where you guys are at and see if there's some money he can help find for you really quick. It's perfect for incoming seniors, but also perfect for like 9th and 10th graders, right? For those who are starting early, you're able to set up your financial aid account, your financial accounts in a way to help offset a lot of stuff to help you guys out with that journey. So again, if you guys want to book that chat with Coach David, boom, in the chat itself, you guys can go ahead and book that, right? But continuing on, right, in terms of which ones give you the biggest chances in the process itself, ED by far we've seen has the most amount of percentages, pure number wise. Again, you're fully committing. I'm coming to your school if you take me in, right? So that's the big one. There's also EA and REA. Again, that is like, hey, it's a little low, like, yes, I want to go. Here's a little boost. That will give me bigger than the regular decision, because again, everyone else could be applying to regular decisions there, right? And so again, flow chart, right? Flow chart. If you are sure about a school that this is my school, ED or REA, if right you want to get in without getting like locked into there, EA is a great option. And if you need more time, regular decision is a good option as well too. But again, ideally, if you can do early action, I mean, over regular, I would always recommend that option specifically there. Okay. Again, factoring in financial aid itself. You guys can kind of take a peek at this as well. So one of the big things about Origin, you don't have a choice, right? It's one of those like, you're in, here's the package. I'm only, so I we threw in this opt-out clause. There is a little loophole we have learned in the wording of the ED document. So again, you're legally signing a contract saying, yes, I'm coming to your school. However, there is a clause in there so the schools will give you some type of package, right? Some set of like grants, loans, work study, scholarships, right? In some combination of that. Again, typically, if you're more on the affluent side, more loans, more loans, work study, less grants, less scholarships, vice versa. If you come from more of a low income, middle class family, you'll see more grants, more scholarships, less loans, less work study as well, too. So that's kind of how that works there. There is an opt out clause. So if, like in theory, right, if the financial aid package doesn't give you what you need, right, then you could opt out. And that's the only way you can opt out of an ED specifically, is opting in with that clause specifically there. Okay. For EA, REA, again, it's non-binding, so you'll see what financial aid you can compare offers. I would also negotiate. This is how we help a lot of our families kind of negotiate packages against each other. I'm like, hey, this school's giving me this. Can you do a little better? And that's how they're able to give you more money. Keep that in mind. All aid is negotiable, right? Some have hard nose, but at least in theory, all the aid is negotiable. The different talk, different day. That's more of a Coach David conversation. If you guys are interested in that topic, let me know. I can let him do a training on that specifically. But the biggest thing is gonna be you can negotiate your financial aid there. And then regular, you'll have all the schools by then, because you'll find out at the same time as all the rest of your schools. Then you'll compare in April, right? And you can compare that way of against across the whole board of like, hey, all these schools offer me money. Can you give me something close to what the other schools are offering? Again, that's how a lot of our students have been able to get an extra 20, 30, $50,000 just because, like, hey, this school's giving me more. Can you help me out? Because keep in mind, at that point, they want you to say yes, right? You're in the driver's seat now, not the other way around. So keeping that in mind. And I think that, making my choice, financial, yes. And last one, deadlines, timelines, especially. I know we have a lot of seniors here live on this call. So again, this is really important to make sure you have your timelines all correct. Early action, everything is due by November 1st, November 15th. Again, check your schools. Each school is a little different. So look up all the schools that you're applying to, look at their specific early action deadlines. Again, to keep it simple, what's the earliest date? Just apply them all during the earliest date, just to keep life simple for you here. And you will find out by October there. Okay. Early decision, again, same thing, very similar deadline. Have done by November 1st. You'll find out by mid-December. There for REA, same thing by November 1st. REA will come out also in December here, right? Regular, you'll find out about, you'll apply by January 1st or the 15th. Again, I personally, doing this 16 years now, I highly recommend you apply before the holiday break, so you can enjoy the holiday break. A lot of students I know spend all their breaks writing these apps. Don't do that. Don't stress yourself out. Get it done beforehand so you get to enjoy your winter break itself. And then you'll find out, like with all the other schools, by mid-March, if not by January, by April 1st. Then you have every college to kind of negotiate and play around with. Keep in mind, if you already got in with early decision or you got in with early action, you committed, you don't have to worry about this. You're done as well too. Okay, so that's the biggest thing here. There is something for some schools called ED2, right? ED2 is some schools offer a second early decision kind of deadline as well. So in these, we'll find out you'll get it in early January and you'll find out by mid-February. Same thing, it's all ED, so these are binding as well. So if you get in, you're locked in. No other schools there too, right? So keep in mind, that is the other option. Cool. That has been the training on early action, early decision, restrictive action. If anyone here wants the notes, let me know. If not, that is pretty much it for me today. Questions? No questions. Notes. Share. All right. Amy sent you the notes. Cool, cool. That's pretty much it. So thank you for joining me, everyone. This was a fun, like nice little quick, concise training to get you guys again doing it again. If you are a senior, definitely start working on everything, and your common apps are due very, very soon. Get those locked in, ready to go there. Okay. And Steven sent you notes as well too. Perfect. That's pretty much it for me. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys next week. Actually, I won't be here. Coach David will be here next week to help you guys out. Those requested notes, I'm gonna drop it in the notes section right here. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.